Here at Meadows Music Festival, I'm with Joel Plaskett. You're going to be going on the stage later here in Fergus, Ontario. How you doing, man?
I'm well. Yeah. We just drove up from Nova Scotia, and a couple of the guys are following us. Steve and I drove up with all the gear, and then Dave and Chris flew up, and are on their way here right now. So
right on.
Yeah,
perfect. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm from Wallaceburg, Ontario.
Are you okay?
So I know you played in Chatham-Kent, Ontario, a bunch of times, and there was one recently at the Red Barn Brewing Company, one of their mystery shows. And I understand your dad was on stage with you. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Dad was on that trip with me. It was great fun. Yeah, and that mystery show was good. Like I felt like I was reaching some new people that night, which was cool, who hadn't seen me, because often, when I'm gigging, I'm sort of kind of preaching to the converted a little bit in a good way, but at the same time, it's always nice when you're in a room and you go, nobody's heard this story before, but Dad was with me, and we had a good we did about 7 shows, or whatever that was. God, how many months ago it was now, but November, I guess.
I think it was November.
It's kind of weird. Time's flown. Like, I can't believe that's 6 months ago or whatever it is.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
It's insane. Yeah.
And I'm glad we're going to get to see you here at Meadows. But it's a special time for you. You guys have been working hard. You guys are celebrating 20 years with this incarnation of the band.
Absolutely.
And a fresh new single, Fill in the Blanks. And I guess you wanted to kind of celebrate that achievement of 20 years, really in this era of like the shrinking attention span and the attention-grabbing tech and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Chris, who plays bass in the Emergency, joined 20 years ago. Dave and I have been playing for 25 or 26, 27 years. Since 98, I think we started playing some music together. So we're a long-standing band. We haven't made like a record under the Joel Plaskett Emergency since, 2012, but the guys have played on a bunch of the records that I've done since then that are sort of Joel Plaskett records, but there's always, the Emergency's always been like part of those albums for the most part, and very much like the live reputation that we have in the kind of when we're gigging rock and roll is a band effort, and so it felt like we needed a new track. And this is a song I wrote a couple of years ago, Fill in the Blanks. There's sort of an acoustic version that actually just came out yesterday, the demo version of it, but we worked up the kind of rock and roll version in February, and it was fun. It worked really well. I'm happy with the way the track turned out. It's a simple little tune, pretty lean, but I think it speaks to the way we play as a band together. And I like the song. Like today will actually be the first time we've gigged it as a band live. I've been singing it acoustic for the last couple of years, but tonight we'll see if we can fire it up.
Yeah, right. So I wanted to dig into because I understand there's a pretty cool story for how this song originated. Like, it started as kind of like a demo, like a real analog, real lo-fi song. I understand that the lyrics as well, they were inspired by an influential philosopher. Is that right?
Yeah, in a roundabout way, yes. It was an assignment for a class that I was taking from Andrew McLuhan, who is Marshall McLuhan's grandson. And Marshall McLuhan's the famous Canadian sort of media theorist and philosopher who'd coined the term "the medium is the message." I think he also coined the term "the global village," which we use a lot now. McLuhan really saw the future, in my opinion. Like, he really was looking at technology and making and sort of a lot of the theories that he had sort of still hold about the world today and seem even more prescient. It's almost like he had a crystal ball, in my opinion. But anyway, I learned a lot from this class that Andrew was teaching. We were reading Mark McLuhan's book Understanding Media, and chapter 2 is a chapter called Media Hot and Cold, and it's about this idea that like different technologies, medias, all have kind of different ways in which you engage them. And for example, the difference between a color movie back in the day, because he's writing in the 60s, but say a hot medium would be like full color television or more like full color movie, whereas a black and white movie, you have to fill in the blanks a little more. You have to use your imagination.
Right.
So there's a little more implicit in cooler technologies, cooler mediums. So if something's cool, you use your imagination. If something's hot, it's coming on full strength and you almost get overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
The cell phone feels pretty hot. You know what I mean? Like, it's like everything all at once, and we get really distracted as a result. You know? So I was just playing on that idea of hot and cool, and sort of turned it into like a kind of, not a love song, but more like a kind of, just a cheeky lyric. You're coming in hot and high definition. I'm keeping it cool, low definition. There's like the play between like people. When you're, and so I had fun with the lyrics, but I submitted it as an assignment, and Andrew really liked it. He was like, "This is cool," And so I've been sitting on the song for a couple of years ever since that, playing it live here and there. But it actually worked up as a rock track better than I thought it would. I was really happy. I kind of wanted to give it almost like I've always loved Steve Miller, like a summertime vibe.
Yeah.
And I figured we're going to be doing shows this summer. Let's make it like a bumpin' 70s kind of Steve Miller, James Gang.
Yeah, because I heard that you were kind of thinking Steve Miller, April Wine, jamming together, but the guys kind of took it in another direction.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way we play. Like Dave and Chris both have their real distinct personalities as a musician, and while we can reference stuff all day long, it's not like I want to do something that's entirely retro. It's not like I'm looking to recreate the 70s, but there's certain nods that I like, and I've always loved Steve Miller just for the way it's kind of scrappy production, but there's like, hoo-hoos and stuff, there's fun things to hear in Steve Miller tracks, what I mean? There's always like a bit, there's always a bit. And this song, I wanted that, like, fill in the blanks. It's got, I'm dropping out lines, and there's playing on the lyric and trying to play with some sounds to fill those gaps and stuff. So I had a really good time working up the track with the guys. But I think it sounds like us, even though I think it nods to some older music for sure. Right. I mean, I'm really steeped in 70s guitar rock. Led Zeppelin's kind of my like North Star, as a teenager, and remains that way to this day. So there's always something going on in that fashion.
Absolutely. So with this song too, I understand you had some more fun putting a music video together for it as well.
Yeah, the video.
You were like, it was like you weren't Pat Sajak or Vanna White, but you were Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, maybe
Wheel of Fortune.
Maybe a little bit of Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I mean, we filmed the session, right? So this guy Mike Hall documented our recording session. So we cut that together as an edit, and then projected it on the wall in black and white. Just, footage of us playing in the studio. In the studio, we projected it on the wall of the studio, which is cinder block on the wall, so it's kind of modeled looking. And we projected it up there, which kind of degenerated the visual a little bit in black and white,
Yeah.
So the idea is there's this like low definition thing in the background, and then I roll in full color in this red chair, and I sing the song to camera. So it actually played on the lyrical of this idea of like, hot and cool and all of it. So I feel like I was quite pleased with how things that were happening in the lyrics were sort of showing up in the music and then showing up in the visuals.
Right.
That doesn't always happen. Sometimes you're trying to work an angle on something and you never really find it, or one thing just doesn't jive with the other thing.
Yeah, and if it falls into place,
but with this track, it kind of felt like everything just sort of lined up, and it was an easy song to have fun with. So I'm really happy with it, and the reception's been really good. Really good, CBC's been spinning it a bunch. It's in their top 20, and lots of people sending me nice notes. Hey, I heard the new track, It just feels good with the weather starting to turn and some rock and roll shows on the horizon.
Start of the summer type.
Yeah, it feels like we're just about the summer, yeah.
Right on. You talk about the new track. Is that a one-off kind of thing, Joel, or is that part of a bigger project?
Right now,
it's
a one-off. Yeah, we don't have any record on the horizon. We just got some shows. I've got some other things percolating in the background, but none of them have come to fruition yet. Like I've always got a few ideas for things, but this was just to do a song.
Yeah.
The 7-inch has both versions of the song, and so I feel like it sort of.
That's what I heard, like the original demo, right?
Yeah, and that just got released sort of digitally yesterday, but it's on the 7-inch single we're selling as well. And so, no big plans for a big emergency record. We've been gigging a long time, but we pick our battles. We just sort of doing a lot of summer shows, one-offs, not as much full-time straight line national touring.
Yeah.
As much as we like playing, if you do it too much, it can get hard.
Yeah.
Physically, we're all getting a bit older, and so we just kind of, Chris has another kid on the way,
Right.
And I also have my kind of solo and acoustic aspirations playing with my dad. I'm a bit of a, like, not a chameleon, but I'm usually ping-ponging around.
Yeah.
I tend not to always want to do the same thing. I love the band shows. I love playing with the Emergency. But it's also just getting to be a really expensive world to move around in. So to try to make it worthwhile for everybody, we just kind of make sure we just choose the stuff that makes sense.
Right.
Close to home or easy to, that looks like it's all going to line up. Just so that we can kind of keep it joyful.
Yeah.
And like all meaningful, and because sometimes when you're at something just trying to make a go of it, it can get just
if it's forced, you don't want.
If you're forced it, exactly. So that's sort of the way I'm looking at it, is like just, and that's why even just with a track, I kind of like, people have been asking, are you making a new record with the band? And I'm like, not at this point, but it's not that less is more, but just I kind of feel like we're just doing what feels right.
Yeah, quality instead of quantity.
That's exactly it. I'm in a quality instead of quantity mindset, you know.
And quality, obviously, you're being recognized for quality, not like for your career and everything you've done, because you were recognized recently by your home province.
Yeah, I know.
Talk to me about that.
Well, they gave me the Order of Nova Scotia, which is a really amazing honor. So I kind of can't believe it, to be honest. Yeah, it was a trip. Went to Government House, and got my kind of. Got the award around my neck and all of it. And I've been at it a long time in Nova Scotia. I'm 51 now, but I've been gigging since I was 18, so I'm pretty dug in to sort of what I do. So it was just a trip to be recognized in that way. I feel like there's an amazing community that has helped me, and to get recognized by it,
Obviously, Juno Awards and those kind of awards for music-related ones, those are obviously an honor. Yeah. But this is more community. This is more, I don't want to say bigger than music, but it's a different scope.
It definitely kind of felt like, with the studio that we got a little shop there where there's a bookstore, cafe. So there's a bit of a community hub happening there. Lots of musicians around. The studio's getting used by people. When I started playing in Thresher, my old band, Sloan were the big band in town. They got signed to Geffen, and they started a record label and brought all their friends along for the ride, us included. We were part of a really great scene where there was older musicians who were helping kind of shepherd in younger ones. We had a lot of we had people to look up to and who brought us on the road. Mm-hmm. So I was part of that scene, and I'll admit I'm out and about a lot less. I don't see a lot of shows. I'm not as hip to what's going on anymore. Right. You know what I mean? But that said, just through the years, I've always felt the value of spaces. So building the studio and having it be commercially available to people to record, and we've had all sorts of. There's just been a lot of community connections that have developed over the years, and so I've gotten to know a lot of people, and I feel like they know me too. And so, the order felt like just this amazing recognition in that direction, so I feel very fortunate. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that, Joel. Congratulations on the new single.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you play that with the whole band here live for the first time in Fergus, Ontario. So, Joel, it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure, and thanks for taking time with me.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, see you later.